Are you concerned by artificial intelligence? Because you should be. You should be. Before we begin, I do find it necessary to comment on the fact that a lot of the heads of these AI companies are precariously named, such as Sam Altman, Sam the Alternative Man, and slightly unrelated, you also have Sam Bankman-Fried, who now neither has a bank nor is free. There's also a third name that I'm slipping on, but I'll add it right here whenever I think of it. Anyways, welcome back to Research Reality, where we usually talk about protest music and protest accessories, but today we are talking about AI, because this is a very pressing topic that I think deserves our time and attention now, probably more than ever, at the risk of sounding super hyperbolic. One of these days I'll figure out how to actually edit these videos so that I can just show you these videos included in this video. That might be something to ask ChatGPT later. Like and subscribe if you like the vibe, or check out the Patreon account for exclusive videos, or check out some of our other reviews of some of these albums on the wall. But anyways, so artificial intelligence is now getting to the point where things are just getting out of hand. Whether it's the scammers who call you, they get your voice, they start to modulate it, and then they call your loved ones, claiming to be you, saying, "Hey mom, I'm in a terrible situation, can you send me money?" And of course those who are vulnerable to such a call would of course give the money, and yet at the same time not everyone is prepared to get a call from their loved one and have any reason to think that it's not actually them if it sounds like them. There's also the possibility that if they get your voice, then suddenly you just signed up for so many different things. New phone bills, new credit cards, new whatever. If they get your voice and they can modulate it, then they call various companies and they can just set up anything in your name using your voice, using your consent. Sir, would you like to download 20,000 Twinkies into your hard drive? Yes. And now some of these large language models have become so advanced that now they can screen your social media profiles, emulate it with its own unique profile, and then start chatting you up with common interests, and then try to get you to maybe donate to a charity or donate to a cause that you're passionate about, all under the guise of being a genuine person, when really it's just a scammer. It's just someone trying to get your credit card information, your bank information, which again, this probably doesn't really apply to people watching this channel, but still it matters for the people that are vulnerable to that, most notably the elderly, who of course, if people were already scam calling people and making bank off of that, off the vulnerabilities of the vulnerable, then of course this is going to work, because this is like orders of magnitude more sophisticated than anything we've seen. So there's a few videos that I'm going to link down below that I think are worth your time and attention. One was recommended to me, the other one just kind of popped up on my feed. So the first one is an interview with Paul Tudor, who is a billionaire hedge fund guy. And the title of the video is called "AI Poses an Immediate Threat." So the host asks Paul Tudor, "So what's new? What have you been up to?" And Paul basically just goes on this whole rant talking about this AI conference that he just got back from, attended by the heads of every major AI company, where they were giving talks, where they were answering questions, and Paul Tudor walked away from that conference feeling very disturbed by what he saw, because all of these companies were relatively open about the issues that we are facing. Most notably, it is full speed ahead on AI research, because each company is fighting to be the first one to achieve artificial general intelligence, which artificial general intelligence, or AGI, is not just machine learning. It's not just these large language models. It's an actual super intelligence. It actually builds on itself. It's a self-learning, self-perpetuating entity. So each company, of course, wants to be the first one to achieve that, because of course this would be a first for humanity. But you also have the geopolitical arms race between the United States and China, who are also gunning for that first place spot in this AI arms race shenanigan. Only this, I think, is several orders of magnitude greater, because the obvious difference is that not everyone can make a nuclear bomb in their basement, but something like this would be more obtainable to the average person or a clandestine group who could then, say, bioengineer a virus and wipe out half the population. I know it all sounds hyperbolic now, but Paul Tudor did mention that the heads of these companies were actually equally concerned about these threats as we are. In fact, one is quoted as saying that he thought that it would take probably a few million deaths for people to actually take this threat seriously. And another one, when asked about what he's doing about all of this, he said, "Oh, you know, I'm just buying a farm with some cattle, with some chickens. You know, just things people do when they think things are going to be great." But basically the consensus is that we're powerless to do anything about it because everybody wants to be the first one to get it. If it's not a US company, then it's going to be China, and we don't want to be trying to catch up because actually once you obtain AGI, if you're not first, you are literally last. Because if you have AGI on your side, if you have a super intelligence calculating everything for you, then everyone else is automatically so disadvantaged that there is no way that they could keep up. And again, it's all just kind of bleak and not great, and definitely something we should all be concerned with, I think. So anyways, the second video, and maybe I'll do a couple videos on this guy, his name is Daniel Caccatalio. God damn it. Anyways, we will call him Daniel K. He is actually a whistleblower from OpenAI. He had a fantastic interview with Ian Bremmer from GZERO Media, and he actually just did another interview with Sam Harris. Both of these guys are on my list of some of my favorite sources, so definitely check out my other videos talking about all my favorite sources. I'll link that down below as well. So Daniel K, again, he's a whistleblower from OpenAI. Someone who thought that OpenAI was not being open enough with the public in terms of what they were working on, and also that they were not taking safety seriously enough. He said that they were definitely underfunded and it just was not a priority because again, it's full speed ahead. And Daniel was also a co-author of the report AI 2027, which the whole report is basically just a prediction of how things will go in the next, say, half a decade. And it predicts that things will start rapidly increasing in the year 2027, though I think now he's kind of walked this back to be 2028. Still, very close indeed. But basically the prediction, and you can even see this in some of the statements from some of these AI companies, is that achieving artificial general intelligence might be done by the end of this decade. But I think Daniel brings a lot of good points of things that we should be seeking from these companies, things that the public ought to know when it comes to something as serious as AI research. First thing on the list, of course, is more transparency. The public ought to know what these companies are capable of. The public deserves to know if this research is being automated. The public deserves to know how capable these companies can be when it comes to bioweapons or cyber warfare. And we also deserve to know when these thresholds are crossed, so that we know kind of what to expect. What are the beliefs and values that we are attributing to these models? Because if this is all open, if this is all known, then the scientific community can better assess if it is or is not happening. But again, Daniel was basically saying that he didn't think that OpenAI was being transparent, that he didn't think that they were taking safety protocols serious enough. They were underfunded and understaffed. So this also brings us to the alignment problem, which alignment is basically just that. It's whether or not an artificial intelligence is aligned to our values. If this super intelligence, when it's created, if it's going to have our best interest at heart. So yes, things are getting a little wild. It's definitely just the wild, wild west when it comes to artificial intelligence research. Full speed ahead with no concern about safety, no concern about alignment. But there are 2 points that I want to kind of end this on. And I'm really not sure when I'm going to upload this video, so some of this might be a little outdated because there's a lot of new music coming out and we're going to be very busy with that. But anyways, so at time of filming, Trump's big beautiful bill is still pending. It passed the House, but now we are still awaiting confirmation from the Senate. My assumption is that it will not pass, but again, time will tell. However, in that bill, there is a provision talking about artificial intelligence, and it's basically putting a hold on AI laws at the state level. Said another way, it's basically barring the states from creating their own legislation that is putting restrictions on artificial intelligence, which would make sense if the federal government actually had a plan to regulate this, again with those safety protocols in mind. But because the federal government is just asleep at the wheel, that means that even the states are basically powerless to do anything about what we are discussing, and that's a huge fucking problem. So again, this might not even be relevant at the time that you are watching this, but still it is worth mentioning because this is the world that we are living in. This is our future at stake, trying to secure a better, safer future for everyone. But also the last note, again, with artificial intelligence, we do need to take this as a very serious, credible threat, because looking at Ukraine and looking at Israel, they both just pulled off huge military operations, and they both used the same tactic where they snuck drones into the opposing country, where they then eventually set them off going after airfields, air defense, various other military targets. So of course drones and autonomous warfare is only going to evolve from here, and you even see this in the US military. Chris Cappy actually just had a video on this talking about how the United States in a potential war with China has now made a new army unit, one that also utilizes drones and various other tactics, but one of those tactics is running their battle plans through essentially a large language model. It's basically 3 different filters that gives you a battle plan of what to do, and that is unfortunately where we are headed, and things I think will only be exacerbated once we actually achieve super intelligence. But the thing is, artificial intelligence is something that has the potential to be a literal miracle for humanity in terms of healthcare, in terms of society, in terms of climate change, in terms of scientific discovery. There's literally so much potential to be had, but if we use it all on the wrong thing, which is what we have to fight against, which is what we have to oppose in order to make this something that can be truly great for everyone, for humanity. I tried thinking of songs on the wall that fit this topic, but I really couldn't think of too many. There is the song from Propaganda talking about sort of mechanized humanity, AI dating and all that. There's another one from Jesse Wells titled Will the Computer Love the Sunset? And if you guys know any songs about AI and just the horrors that might rise from it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the vibe. Let me know what you think about AI, what we can do about it. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? What's the scoop? Definitely check out the other videos for more protest music reviews and other topics such as this. And until then guys, thank you again so much for watching. Take care, stay well, stay safe, watch out for those AI scammers, and we will see you on the next video. Later.